ready to go. If you've got your coffee ready, it's time to harvest some prints. For me to chat to you about what happened yesterday. Nothing majorly dramatic. Just more updates. So, I hope you're doing well and that this is working. It does take a little bit of time. So this morning we got 3 printers with prints in. Nothing on the printer this morning. Oh no, 4 because we printed another one. Good morning again, Lars. Good to see you. Nuna, good morning. Good morning, Ben. Good morning, Jimmy. Yay. I don't know how much lag. I've not actually considered that. The latency. Because on desktop you can like change it between like low lag or high lag, depending on stuff and things. Here, on mobile, no options. I also wondered if I should get a mic just so I can improve the audio quality a bit. I think audio is generally a bit more important than visual quality, and I don't really have anything to adjust. Am I sounding like a robot? Is anyone else having weird issues with audio? I've not changed anything. It's a phone, obviously, so... Anyone else have weird audio? Weird crackling? Great. I don't know what I can do about this. I was wondering if I have like a USB-C microphone. But I'll go have a look, but I'm pretty sure nothing I have is going to help. What about... I'm going to try this, just plugging this in. I don't think it's going to do anything. I don't think it's going to help. But it probably won't damage anything. It might just charge it. Is that any different? I don't know. I can't change any of these things on the phone. I don't know how it's going to work or if it does work. How about this? Is this any different? I don't know if this will work at all. We'll try this today. We've wasted 5 minutes already. Maybe I'll give it a go. I just think you can't test live streams offline very easily. Anyway, let's carry on and just do some printing things and we'll see how it goes. So 2 of these printers kind of have very similar things on them. Let me show you. Get a prop. You might be able to hear me better from across the other side of the room if it's now using a different microphone. So you might have seen on one of the earlier streams, I created some like bars to stack cardboard boxes. Well, I kind of like that idea, thought it could be better, and I got some plastic boxes because they're the depth of the shelf. A lot of the normal stackable boxes are only like this deep, which means you lose, once you stack them all up, the whole space behind them is basically useless. You can't get to it. So by using long ones, you can stack a lot more. It's not perfect because it's then quite difficult to like actually reach all the stuff at the back, but it is better for like at least long things. But again, there's no way to stack these. You try and stack them all on top of each other, they're too bendy and like they just separate. It's not going to work. So, just as before, I made some things. I don't know if they fit yet because I've not tried them. So this is the first test. So this should just sit on here. Perfect. That just clips on the top. And then there's one thing I didn't put on the original one with these extra wings. And this means that when I stack another one on top, which you can also do now actually, because they're just here. When I stack another one on top, they should just, well, it will just reduce the risk of them sliding apart from each other. How many printers do I have? Not many. Well, not that many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 2 at home. 11, but I don't use all of them a lot of the time. So this is now another box exactly the same, and that sort of just sits on there. So if we grab a couple more of these over here, plan is front, middle and back, and this one will just sit on top. And these things don't need to be that strong because they're not really taking that much load. They just got to make sure that the boxes align, and so the actual walls of the box take that weight. And a lot of what I'm stacking is not really going to be that heavy anyway. It might be nicer if these would stay put a bit better. And also a way to stop this sliding forwards and backwards. But ultimately, it's probably not going to change very much. Good morning, James. Good to see you. Nah, it's not really a print farm. It's just some printers. They're all random. I think if you want to be running a print farm, you really need to have lots of all the same printer. It's very impractical to run a print farm of 11 different printers. Or 10 different ones, because these two are the same. I quite like these. The colour selection of blue and yellow looks quite good as well. So yes, that's the first thing I printed. And that is a right first time. Works perfectly. That's the first one. Pretty happy with that. And so, goodness me. The next thing is the same thing but longer. So the first one, this box is 100 millimeters wide, and this is for a box that's 200 millimeters wide. But we'll do exactly the same job. It works in exactly the same way. You can see the profile of it against my shirt. There you go. Looks like that. Again, goes down onto the thing and separates. Bit more bendy, these ones, because they're quite wide. But again, this part in the middle is really just to stop these two parts like moving apart from each other. So it's just tensile strength here that really matters, I think. I don't think the bendiness is going to be too much of a problem. Do you sell 3D prints? Yes. I have a bunch of 3D printed products that use 3D printing. Slap a NeoPixel on them. Yes, more RGB, more better, right? So the nice thing about these compared to the other ones as well is I can print more stuff on one build plate. They're a little bit more space optimized. The first one I could only print like one at a time, which was not ideal. Especially these little ones, you can print loads of those. All in one go, as you saw. Where can I buy it? Vector3D.shop is the shop that I have. You look like you shop at Tesco. Weird. I think RGB stock level notification is probably a little bit overkill. I'm not sure how useful it would be. It would kind of look cool, I suppose, but the amount of effort required to do that, all the kind of API integration and all that kind of malarkey. Yeah, there's a bit much effort for me. I put an extra brim on these just at the ends, because when you have very long parts like this, as they contract and cool, they have a tendency to bend, but didn't in this case. I think because the HDD gets really rather warm, like 60 degrees, so they don't really warp until, well, they don't warp, basically. This is ABS and it's like perfectly flat. Right. Got to get a bit of the rubbish off the build plate. That's the downside of these little brims. For some reason they stick to the build plate more than the part. Some stuck to the part, a lot of them stuck to the build plate. To be honest, in my mind, if they stick to the build plate, it means they weren't really holding on the part very much, which means they probably weren't doing much. There we go. I'll probably print more of these. I've got like 15 of each of these boxes, I think. It's not the first time being. I'm not Australian. I don't know what you mean. Can't really do accents. Yeah. Why do you think I'm from? Strange. I'm not sure what your obsession with Tesco's is. Yes, we're from the UK. Creality or Bambu Lab? In what context? These printers, these two are Bambu. This one also Bambu. We go to the Creality one at the moment, in a minute, rather like right now. Down the bottom here, I printed another cauliflower. As I mentioned yesterday, I'm working on some new developments for cauliflower, some new features. So I have to print a bunch of them in different settings to see what effect it has on the print. And then we can develop a calculation which compensates for said parameter. So that's another one of those. I printed like 3 yesterday. Normally you would only print 1, so because there's a development, it's not the same workflow. Hopefully that's clear. It's nice to see a 3D YouTuber from the UK. Good. Okay, I'm just going to be. You're just really annoying. There are quite a few YouTubers from the UK that do this kind of thing. I'm sure you can find them. So that's all the prints for today. Not a lot going on. I don't know why I say that. I mean, they took quite a bit of work to get just right, and I'm happy with how they turned out. Cheers. Hope you have also a nice coffee. My arm's really sore at the moment. I've forgotten what I did yesterday. The whole day just disappeared and not much progress was made, I think. Oh, I packaged a bunch of Electropies. So we've got a bunch of the standard 4010 fan and the 4010 Pi fan, which has like the PWM, the connector specifically for Pi 5. So there's a bunch of those now in the shop, ready to go. Yes, that's fantastic. It's only like 40 pieces, I think, in total, and I do have an absolute buttload still to do. I'm running out of some of the packaging and stuff that I bought. I thought I bought enough for like everything, but what is with these such random fucking chat stuff? It's so weird. One person with a random obsession with Tesco's. Oh, it's bizarre. I don't know, muting them all the time is what I should be doing. I see you took care of them, James. Like, it's not technically like foul language, it's just annoying. I don't know. Maybe I just leave them there anyway. But when I'm trying to answer questions and stuff that come through, it's annoying because I can only see like 3 messages. If there's one person just constantly spamming something, everybody else gets like removed or blocked, whatever, not visible. One thing I can share with you is this little gem that I found. I mean, it's quite a big gem, I suppose. So because I'm obviously always working on VLMP and adaptations and all these kinds of things, I bought this soldering iron, which doesn't look like a soldering iron at the moment, just to see whether it's any good. And I was reasonably impressed. I mean, I've not used it a lot, but it comes in like a box with like all the stuff and even like a fold out stand. So the stand is like all ready to go. It has like a nib cover thing, so even when it's hot you can kind of put it away. Probably not necessarily recommended, but this can kind of sit in here. Comes with a little bit of solder, although this is like mostly tin, so it's not very good solder. It's lead free but doesn't have silver in it. It's just tin and copper. And then you've got a bunch of tips and stuff up here. So yeah, I thought that was quite an interesting find. There's like I mean, it doesn't seem to have a battery in, which I thought it did, because it's like it's pretty expensive, like nearly £100. But it did come, I think, with a cable and a power supply. But those, again, don't fit in the box. So it's like, it's good, but it's like not quite there, I don't think. And also, unfortunately, probably not that super useful for VLMP because the grip is not ideal for the way we hold irons. I'm doing good, thank you. Thanks for asking. Yes, doing pretty good, thank you. Other supermarkets are available. You had to replace a heating element in your iron. Yeah, the weird thing about soldering irons is there's a lot of different brands that sell them, but not as many designs as there are brands. So we obviously know that we're all copying each other from somewhere, but it's really unclear who has the actual like first design of that. So I'm like talking with brands to work with them to get stuff for VLMP and soldering and things in the shop. And I'm like, if I find the person who actually created this originally, that will probably allow me the best price to get a decent price to you. If I'm going through somebody that's buying it from somebody else already, it just makes no sense. So yeah, a bit odd. Don't know how that situation is going to get resolved, but there you go. It is what it is. Yeah, we're at 22 minutes already. I know half of that was like spent faffing with audio. But I don't have much else to say, I don't think, today. We just had a nice little catch up, a little chat. And I'll keep sharing things as I work on them. Find new things to do. I'm going to be mostly again carrying on with Electropie and things today, probably. I really, really want to work on my Voron, but despite having now a whole office space, I still like, I want more space still. Like it's, or just use it differently. I feel like I moved in very quick, bought these workbenches to get everything set up as quick as possible. And now they're just not quite optimal. So it feels like space just sort of gets left behind in an unideal way. So maybe I'll try and do something about that. I don't know. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. Hopefully tomorrow we'll have no audio issues, or I'll have identified. I mean, it'll take a couple of days for a new microphone to arrive if I do grab something. But something I can just plug in USB-C in the bottom of the phone that doesn't need batteries would be nice. Yeah, we always need more space. I try and avoid the pitfall trap too much of just getting more and more and more and more, because the more space you have, the more money it costs. And then you end up with problems of other varieties. So I want to be like as dense as possible to try and make the best use of the space that I have. And I don't feel like I've reached that yet, which is why I don't want really a bigger space. I just need to make better use of what I already have. But moving is going to be a huge pain in the ass because I've got so much flipping stuff here now. It took me like over a month, I think, really to move into here. Like most of December was spent moving, and even most of January was not really getting anything done. So, but maybe next time I'll have more of an idea of what to do and things will be a bit smoother. Oh, you made a mercury style thermometer using a NeoPixel strip in your LED video. A little bit of AI. Was the AI to do the coding part? I do hope the coding capabilities of AI do improve. I've tried it a bit and it's just a little bit like hit and miss, or you get so far and you ask it to change one thing and it just rewrites the entire code, and it's now like just like creates new problems out of nowhere. It's bizarre because it obviously doesn't actually understand it. It can't make things work. It can just do what you say, and the consequences are whatever the consequences are. Wild. Anyway, right, 25 minutes in. I need to go and get on with some work, and I'm sure much of you have work to do too. So thank you very much for joining in, and I'll catch you tomorrow on our coffee morning update, hopefully with some more prints and more updates of what I'm working on. Thank you very much, and I'll see you tomorrow.